Hello, welcome to Face Coverings Communicating Effectively. My name is Jennifer Sell, and I work as an English language instructor and trainer with Cultural Linguistic Services at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. In my work, I teach language skills to English Language Learning, or ELL, employees at UW-Madison. I also work with native English speakers on general language communication skills. In this presentation, I'll be talking about some of the unique challenges we face during conversation while wearing face masks. Although our focus is on language learners, this presentation may help anyone communicating through a face mask. Our main goal is to brainstorm strategies to communicate more effectively. First, a little background. We developed this presentation in September 2020 when UW-Madison opened campus under the Smart Restart Plan, which stated, everyone on campus will be required to wear face coverings in all indoor public spaces, including classrooms and outside when physical distancing is not possible. Wearing face coverings is key to protecting ourselves and others from infection. At the same time, verbal communication through face masks can present certain challenges. People who are deaf or hard of hearing, people with autistic spectrum disorder, and English language learners can find it especially difficult. Let's begin by thinking about how it feels to communicate through a face mask. In my own experience, I notice I have to pay a lot more attention, or actually listen harder, because I often have trouble hearing the words. Sounds are more jumbled, and I've misunderstood what someone said because I heard a word wrong. Putting this challenge into a personal perspective can be a good starting point. A coworker of mine, for example, shared two of her experiences. At one point, she got a whole pound rather than a half pound of lunch meat at the deli because the server couldn't hear her clearly. Now she makes sure to do a hand slash motion to indicate half. Another time, the cashier who helped her when she bought a $50 gift card said 50 to confirm she didn't want a card worth $15. What's your experience communicating through a mask on or off the job? How did it feel, physically and emotionally? Have you discovered any positives? What difficulties have you had? How did you deal with them? Pause the presentation and take a minute or two to think through these questions. Many people find it hard to communicate through a mask. Why is this? Well, first of all, listeners can't see the speaker's entire face. This is obvious, but what you may not realize is how strongly listeners rely on visual cues such as mouth movements and facial expressions to understand spoken speech. This is especially true of language learners. English language learners watch a speaker's mouth closely to tell similar sounding words apart. For example, will versus fill. Facial expressions are key to understanding. The eyes are the most visible part of the face when wearing a mask. Some people avoid making eye contact, however, for a number of individual or cultural reasons. Masks can also hide smiles and emotions, making it tougher for listeners to gauge the intent of the speaker, and this can lead to miscommunication. Have you noticed this yourself with masks? A reduced ability to read a person and interpret their message? Sound is often compromised. Speech behind a mask can be soft or muffled, and 6-foot physical distancing can make sound quality even less clear. Finally, physical and emotional discomfort can play a role. Wearing a mask can be uncomfortable, especially for long periods. Some people may be distracted by awareness of their own breathing. Others are distracted by obstructed lines of sight. I experience a sensation of tunnel vision, for example. It's tougher to have a productive conversation when you're feeling out of sorts. People also experience a wide range of emotional reactions to face coverings, and these feelings can affect communication. So, what can we do? Pause the presentation and take a minute or two to think about ways we can improve communication while wearing face coverings given these challenges. Let's talk about our first challenge. You can't see the speaker's mouth or entire face. Think more about hand signals and body language. Could you identify certain signals for common communications that people can read from a distance? For example, stop, come here, or take this. Agree on signals in advance so people know exactly what they mean. In class, for example, I cup my ear with my hand to let students know I can't hear them. They understand right away that they need to talk more loudly. We usually coach supervisors to use actual objects for hands-on learning. Now, we need to focus on hands-off learning. Be careful showing objects if it involves getting close to handle or demonstrate. Now's the time to provide more pictures to employees to support your message. People can view images on a screen or paper during the conversation, or later at a safer time and place. Along these lines, consider video recording yourself giving a message without a mask. Employees can view your video instructions when, where, and how often it works best for them. And you can even play it for employees at in-person meetings so they can see your mouth in the video when you're talking. Finally, check into clear mask options. Clear masks are face coverings that have a transparent panel made of plastic or another material in place of cloth over the mouth. It's important to note that clear masks are not the same as face shields. Face shields have different safety guidelines. During a recent Smart Restart forum, the Office of the Vice Chancellor for Finance and Administration confirmed that a face covering that has a clear, transparent material over the mouth area is acceptable. These face coverings still cover the nose, mouth, and can fit snugly on the individual's face. There's a lot of benefit to seeing a speaker's mouth and more of their face through a clear mask. People report they understand speech better and they feel more comfortable in conversation. Some people worry the transparent material may fog up or feel too warm. A number of masks advertise anti-fog windows, however. And reviews also say that wiping the window with shaving cream or beeswax helps prevent the mask from fogging up. Every day, more information is coming out about clear masks, so it may be worth checking out. One other language challenge related to masks is the introduction of new, unfamiliar terminology or jargon. We're all learning new terms during the COVID-19 pandemic era, like physical distancing and symptom self-monitoring. Absorbing this new vocabulary is even harder when you can't see nonverbal cues like mouth movements. You can help your employees tackle this challenge by creating a new team vocabulary list. Look around, read, listen for, and think about new words and phrases you're coming across every day. Are there new PPE names or training terms that employees need to understand? Give your team a written list of these terms with plain language definitions. Include images if you can. Where will your employees encounter challenging words? Go on a field trip, so to speak, through your workplace to look at posted signs and flyers. Focus on reading and understanding new vocabulary. And remember, CLS has posted many instructional language videos about Smart Restart topics on the OHR YouTube channel. Watch one of these together and talk about it. You may want to start with a video topic, read COVID-19 signs on campus. Another challenge we identified is muffled sound. It sounds obvious, but it's important to keep in mind that we need to speak more loudly and focus on pronouncing clearly, even exaggerating sounds, when we're talking through a mask. If you're worried about coming across as condescending, talk about it. Tell employees why you're speaking this way and that you're adjusting your speech as needed for everyone, not just English language learners. Remember, our goal is a volume sweet spot. Yelling just puts out more respiratory droplets. We want to raise our voices just enough so listeners can hear us clearly the first time. The CDC also recommends decreasing background noise. To address physical and emotional distractions, try these tips. Be aware of your body position. When you're in conversation, don't turn or keep moving around a lot. Stay still and face forward. This can really help your listener understand you better. Our end goal is to communicate clearly, quickly, and respectfully. As a speaker, reinforcing your positive intent goes a long way. In normal, non-mass conversation, you may instinctively rely on a facial expression, such as a smile, to convey the intent behind your words. Remember, this is largely gone. If you want to deliver a message with kindness and support, you may need to add more words to that effect. We hope this presentation got you thinking about some strategies that may work well for you. If you have more ideas or experiences to share, please email me at jennifer.sell@wisc.edu. We're all learning as we go, and we'd love to work with you on any language or communication challenges you face in the workplace. Please keep in touch, and thanks again for joining us today.